Andrei Gromyko was a Soviet politician and diplomat during the Cold War. He served as Minister of Foreign Affairs and as chairman of the Presidium of the Supreme Soviet, 1985 to 1988. Gromyko was responsible for many top decisions on Soviet foreign policy until he retired in 1988. In the 1940s, Western pundits called him Mr. Nyat, Mr. No, or Grim Grom, because of his frequent use of the Soviet veto in the United Nations Security Council. Harry Worth, actor, was an English comedy actor, comedian and ventriloquist. Worth portrayed a charming, gentle and genial character, totally bemused by life, creating comedic confusion wherever he went. Worth was born in Highland Common, West Riding of Yorkshire, the youngest child of a miner. He had 10 siblings. When he was only 5 months old, his father died from injuries resulting from an industrial accident. He left school at 14 and was a miner for 8 years. Carlos Puebla was a Cuban singer, guitarist and composer. He was a member of the Trova movement, who specialized in boleros and patriotic songs. Born into a modest family, he did several types of manual jobs during his youth, but quickly became interested in music and especially in the guitar. He learned how to play the instrument by himself, but he did study harmony and theory of music. He began composing during the 1930s and met with a certain amount of popularity in his native city. Nesuhi Erdogan was a Turkish-American record producer and executive of Atlantic Records and WEA International. Born in Istanbul in the Ottoman Empire, Nesuhi and his family, including his younger brother Ahmet, moved to Washington, D.C. in 1935 with their father Munir Erdogan, who was appointed the Turkish ambassador to the United States that year. From an early age, Nesuhi's primary musical interest was jazz. He had attended concerts in Europe before his family moved to the United States. Davud Manshizadeh was an Iranian Nazi, the founder of Sumka, and a supporter of Nazism in Germany during World War II and in Iran after the war. He was a member of the SS and worked as a Nazi radio propagandist in Germany. He was also a scholar in Iranian studies, who later became a professor of Iranian languages at Uppsala University, Sweden. Manshizadeh was born in Tehran, Iran. Laurie Cunningham was an English professional footballer who played as a left winger. He notably played in England, France and Spain, where he became the first ever British player to sign for Real Madrid. Cunningham had signed a schoolboy contract with Arsenal in 1970, but was released in 1972 as his style of play was deemed incompatible with the Gunners' give-and-go tactics. In 1974, he was picked up by second-tier side Leyton Orient, where he remained for 3 years. Alexander Wagers was a polymath Dutch-American artist who is best known as a sculptor, painter, printmaker, blacksmith, carpenter, philosopher, mechanical engineer, aerospace engineer and author. Wagers was born in Mojokerto, Dutch East Indies, where his Dutch parents, Albert Vikers and Johanna van Leenhoff, owned and operated a sugar plantation and a hotel. His mother taught literature and several languages at a high school in Surabaya. Fu Zhan was a general in the People's Liberation Army of the People's Republic of China from Sichuan. Fu Zhan joined the Chinese Communist Party in 1921 and graduated from the Moscow Sun Yat-sen University in 1930. He was appointed as the head of the political department in the Counter-Japanese Military and Political University, and served in various positions in the 8th Rote Army as the political commissar. Donnie Moore was an American relief pitcher in Major League Baseball who played for the Chicago Cubs, 1975, 1977-79, St. Louis Cardinals, 1980, Milwaukee Brewers, 1981, Atlanta Braves, 1982-84, and California Angels, 1985-88. Moore is best remembered for the home run he gave up to Dave Henderson while pitching for the California Angels in Game 5 of the 1986 American League Championship Series. Jean Painlevé was a French photographer and filmmaker who specialized in underwater fauna. He was the son of mathematician and twice Prime Minister of France Paul Painlevé. A few days after Painlevé was born, his mother, Marguerite Petit de Villeneuve, died from complications arising from an infection contracted during childbirth. Painlevé, an only son, was raised by his father's sister Marie, a widow. Piet Liefdink was a Dutch politician of the Christian Historical Union Party, and later the Labour Party, PvdA, and economist. Liefdink applied at the Utrecht University in June 1919, majoring in law and economics, and obtaining Bachelor of Economics and Bachelor of Laws degrees in July 1922, and worked as a student researcher before graduating with a Master of Economics and Master of Laws degrees in October 1927. Dolf Sternberger was a German philosopher and political scientist at the University of Heidelberg. Biography: Dolf Sternberger was born in Wiesbaden in 1907. He is known for his concept of citizenship in contemporary German political thought and for coining the term constitutional patriotism in 1979, on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the Federal Republic of Germany. Dolf Sternberger was born in Wiesbaden in 1907. William T. Wisner, Jr. was a career officer and pilot in the United States Air Force, retiring as a colonel with 30 years of military service. He was a fighter ace with Army Air Forces over Europe in World War II, and a jet fighter ace with the Air Force in the Korean War. Although best known for his credited destruction of 22 1-2 aircraft in aerial combat, and being one of only 7 U.S. combat pilots to become an ace in 2 wars, Wisner commanded the 48th Tactical Fighter Wing, before retiring in 1972. Jack Haig was an English actor who specialized in supporting roles, mainly in television comedy. He was best known for playing Monsieur Roger Leclerc in the British sitcom Allo Allo, between 1982 and 1989. Haig was the son of music hall actors Bertha Baker and Charles Coppin, whose act went under the name Haig and Esco. He was seen in a long list of British television favorites including Hugh and I, Are You Being Served?, Terry and June and Dad's Army. B.V. Bowden was an English scientist and educationist, particularly associated with the development of UMIST as a successful university. Born Chesterfield, Derbyshire, he attended Haslund Junior School and Chesterfield Grammar School as a child, and graduated in natural sciences from Emmanuel College, Cambridge in 1931, taking his PhD in nuclear physics while working at Cavendish Laboratory under Ernest Rutherford.